This is the fourth episode of my presentations. Please support this program by selecting like, subscribe, and requesting notifications when our next episode is available. In 2023, my 3D printing expertise was growing, so at a meeting in New Delhi, India, I was asked to present a video about how I solve problems using that tool. Here it is. Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Haber, hair loss expert and hair transplant surgeon from Cleveland, Ohio. Join me and the Hair Transplant Road Show as I travel the globe seeking answers to important surgical and non-surgical hair loss questions from the true experts in the field. The field of hair restoration is filled with special technical challenges, as well as an extraordinary collection of creative problem-solving surgeons. But while some individuals have access to sophisticated engineering resources, most do not. And the result is that many great ideas never come to fruition. I use 3D modeling software and 3D printers to turn my ideas into reality, and I encourage all of the brilliant people watching this to do the same. In Panama, I introduced these 3D printed graft holding trays, but they had to be discarded after each use. Thomas Dew from New Zealand encouraged me to try silicone, and that changed everything. I redesigned everything as 3D printed silicone molds, altered the design of the tray to fit inside a petri dish, and also designed a rest for the petri dish to fit inside. My grafts and staff have never been happier, and these silicone parts can be autoclaved endlessly. I use these little metal cups to hold slivers and anesthetic, but sometimes they get knocked over. So I designed and printed what we call teacups that the cups sit in. I also designed a silicone version, and now, no more knocked over cups. When we do strip surgery, slivers are first distributed into multiple cups before trimmers take them. So I made a 6-cup holder as well, and of course, made a silicone version. I didn't like my anesthesia syringes all jumbled together, so I designed and printed holders for the anesthetic cups and syringes. And they also serve as safe recapping stations and are coded to correspond with each type of anesthetic. Implanter ramps are helpful for the workflow and reduce the risk of Sharp's injury, but I could not find any commercially available. So I designed and printed my own. But I found the clickety-clack to be distracting. So I designed silicone liners to reduce the noise. I found that the standard inserts in the instrument autoclaving containers did not adequately protect our forceps, as often too many instruments were crammed in together. So I designed and printed these silicone inserts. And these both reduce damage and improve organization. I used to be frustrated when my blade holders did not stay organized. So I designed and printed these silicone organizers that keep the blade holders in the proper order, and even have little wells to store extra blades. Like many offices, we used to use little bubbles of storage fluid to keep grafts hydrated between being examined under the microscope and moved to the petri dish, and this always made me uncomfortable. So I designed and printed these silicone graft wells, which I find more secure. I like to keep my countertops uncluttered, but we use an assortment of blades, tally sheets, forceps containers, and tape, not to mention remote controls for our TV and sound system. So I designed and printed customized holders for everything we use and mount them above the workspace. And now my countertops are neat and clean. During COVID, there was a time when we could no longer obtain these control syringes with the finger and thumb rings. That's also when I learned that while a regular 10cc syringe costs 40 cents, a control syringe costs $2, 5 times the cost. So I designed and printed my own. And now, when I need a control syringe, I just make one with my 3D printed parts. And my parts cost 25 cents. I never knew what to do with my glasses when I switched to surgical loupes. Put them on the counter, put them in my pocket. So I designed and printed a very simple wall-mounted eyeglass holder to keep them safe. There are endless choices when it comes to 3D printers. I use Prusa printers from the Czech Republic, as they have a reputation of being very reliable, and I fully agree with that assessment. The latest model costs $800 unassembled and $1,000 assembled. There are also many choices when it comes to the 3D modeling software. I use a professional grade software called SolidWorks, but if I were starting over, I would use something else. SolidWorks is overly complicated and can be frustrating. There is no agreed upon best software for beginners, so try one of the free ones and go from there. 3D printing is a great creative outlet. I've only presented some of the items I use professionally, but I also make items to help me around the house with my beekeeping activities and even making pierogies. This is my latest project, but I can't show it to you yet. Maybe in Denver. Thank you for watching.